Welcome to Investor Jargon with Jamie. Today I am going to walk you through ways to stand out with your short-term rental, especially during this busy season that is coming up. I don't know about you personally, obviously, but for me, my busy season is usually from March to September. It's just back-to-back bookings. And the reason why I have back-to-back bookings, I feel like, is because I have so many amenities and extra features that kind of set me apart from my competitors. So I'm gonna kind of go through those different amenities today that you can maybe implement in your Airbnb. Now, keep in mind, my Airbnb short-term rental is on the lake. So a lot of my amenities are more outdoor kind of special features. Another thing I want to add, I always tell people this whenever they're getting into short-term rentals, because you need to always remember that this is a hospitality industry. So my husband and I, we do many different investments, and a lot of them aren't, to a direct, I guess you could say, customer, but Airbnbs are, and you need to make sure you're very hospitable. And with all the things I'm going to tell you today, all of my guests really love it. I mean, I always get 5 stars for communication and just being a great host, and that's what you want to be. You want to get those great ratings so you can have super host status on Airbnb, or I think it's called Premier Host status on Vrbo. Regardless, I'm going to share just various things that can kind of set you apart. So I kind of have a bullet point list of items, and you'll kind of see me looking at my screen and trying to look at my camera at the same time. So when you first enter our Airbnb, we have it set up that the first thing the guests see is just like a welcome, I guess you could say, table. It's on a tray on top of our microwave, and I have just a bright colored folder on top of that tray. It's a welcome folder. I also have the Wi-Fi plaque right there, and I also set up just some treats. It's just an added touch, like chocolate on your pillow. They have 4 water bottles. We're on the lake. You don't want to drink the water there. So I always tell them to bring their own water, but I also give them 4 water bottles and just some treats. Like I have individually wrapped cookies that I have my housekeeping set out for them. And that right there kind of sets you apart. The guests know to go straight over there to get all the information they're going to need for their stay. So that is one way. Have a welcome folder, have just a welcome area when you first walk in the door. And then I'll cover what goes in that welcome folder in a minute. Also, before guests even come, I always send the check-in procedures. I have a template already written out. I send them the check-in procedures on, how to get in the house with the lockbox. The house rules, go over briefly the house rules. I also attach the house rules to the email that I send out. And then I also send a separate email template to them that says items that they should bring. Recommended but not required items you can bring during your stay. Guests have expectations, okay? You don't want to under-deliver, right? So I always like to set my expectations and let them know what is included in the Airbnb and what is not included. So that's where I have a list of things to bring, like aluminum foil is one example. We have a fire pit, but I don't provide the firewood. So I tell them to bring their own firewood. And obviously that's just for me because I don't want to go out there and keep supplying the firewood. That's just another thing. So I add that. I put bring your own charcoal. We have a charcoal grill there. And I say bring charcoal, bring lighter fluid, a lighter, all these little things that you don't really think of providing. And I mean, it's an expense to you. So you just want to just give them a list of items. Just think about items that you don't want to keep stocking up on. Like, obviously you need to escrow in toilet paper and paper towels and soap and shampoo. Like, give them all of that. Coffee filters, those are all staples of staying in an Airbnb, just like you would expect in a hotel. You know, you expect all those things, toilet paper and etc. But all the extra stuff, I tell them on a list of things to bring. Water toys, because we have some water toys, but we don't have a boat. We don't have a little kayak that we provide. So we always tell them to bring their own fishing poles, their own water sport activities, you know, jet skis, whatever, just to let them know that we don't have that. We have the lake, we don't have the boat. So those are just a good tip for you to stand out. Just, you know, give them a list beforehand on what to bring, or in addition to your check-in procedures. So now I'm gonna go over what's in that welcome folder. Whenever guests arrive, and this, you not only do this in the welcome folder, you do this on your listing itself. And they have sections on these platforms where you can kind of write things that you can do in the area, places to go, places to eat. I also print that out and put it in the welcome folder. So whenever they get to the property, they open the welcome folder and they can see a list of recommended restaurants, a list of big, retailers like Walmart, and then also like things to do in the area. For example, in our location where our Airbnb is, we have a state park. So I give them all the information to the state park. There's a local honey place, a local honey farm near our Airbnb. So I put that in there, like, you have to go check out this honey farm where you can get local honey. It's the best honey you'll ever taste in Texas. Just things like that. And the guests love that. And they love to see things to do. Even like, we're kind of just in the country and it's a tiny town, so there isn't much to do, but except hang out at the lake. But some people who especially come in the off season, they want to do other things. So I just include places to visit, whether it's a little museum there. I mean, every little town has a museum. Some people like going to museums. So just include every little thing that they can do in the area. And they just love that. And it also helps from them, I guess, messaging you at all hours of the night to just be like, what is there to do? What restaurant can we go to? Is there a pizza place? I mean, all of that you find and put in that welcome folder. And they love it. And I also have the check-in procedures written out in that welcome folder, as well as the checkout procedures. So they're getting an email in the platform, and then, you know, it's actually written out in the welcome folder as well. So whenever they're checking out, they'll just refer to the welcome folder and see the checkout procedures. So that is everything that's in the welcome folder. Again, that is another way to set yourself apart. And lastly, I'm going to tell you some different amenities that are inexpensive that you can add to your short-term rental, and it'll help you stand out. Again, one thing that you can add is a fire pit. So I have a little area. Now make sure, you know, it's not going to be a fire hazard where you set your fire pit. Mine is I have like a little concrete patio in the backyard, and it's just a small fire pit. And I make sure I include a picture of it. And it has just I tell them on the things to bring your own camping chairs. So it's really just a fire pit in the middle of, I guess you could call it a patio, a concrete patio or a stone patio that I have. And I tell them to bring their own camping chairs and bring their own wood. And they love it. I mean, they love having a little fire pit and right by the lake. I mean, who wouldn't, right? So that is one way you can set yourself apart. That was only, $80 from Home Depot. So it was easy. And I also, in the checkout procedures, I make sure to tell them that they need to clean out the ashes, or just dump the ashes once they cool. And I've never had a problem. Same with your grill. I feel like having a grill, especially if you're kind of in an outdoors location, this is a vacation rental. I mean, people are gonna wanna grill. We have a smaller kitchen, so we have a nice charcoal grill outside. I don't like using propane grills just because, I don't know, I feel like a charcoal grill is much safer. And then again, it's just another thing where I don't have to make sure the propane tanks are always full. Whenever I say bring your own charcoal, bring your own lighting fluid, I mean, I've never had any problems. Another added amenity that I kind of feature, it's usually a seasonal bin. And I came across this kind of by mistake. Last summer, one guest, and last summer was actually when the pandemic just hit. So it was very hard to find an inflatable pool. And a guest just happened to find an inflatable pool at the local Walmart. And she left it there. She was just like, I'm just gonna leave it here for, future guests. And all of the guests loved having, even though the lake was right there, they loved having an inflatable pool at the property, because when you're not in the lake, you can just hang out in the backyard, and it was a little like kiddie pool. So obviously that didn't last all summer with all the guest usage. But what I did this year was I found a new one, and I just have a bin, and it's a seasonal bin, and it has care instructions inside of it. And it's simple and thoughtful at the same time. And what it has in it is it has an inflatable pool. It has the electric pump to inflate the pool, an extension cord. I made sure I had hoses that were long enough to reach to that pool. And I have a little tarp that you set the pool on top of. And again, care instructions. And I have actually like a spray as well. It's like a mildew disinfectant spray. Just because, again, it's COVID time, I want to make sure that the guests are responsible for cleaning that up. I also include, the care instructions are to the day before check-in is to lay it out in the sun, spray the mildew disinfectant on it, and lay it out overnight. And then housekeeping will roll it back up and put it away. So I try to make it very simple if the guests want to use it, and just have instructions so it can last all season. And then an inflatable pool, I mean, it will only last one season. And then I also included just various inflatable water toys for the lake. So they have that as well, and it's the same type of care instructions. In addition to the seasonal bin, I also recommend maybe having some big yard games. There's horseshoes. I mean, Walmart, Amazon, they have so many inexpensive yard games. And just make sure that you also, with all of these extra features and amenities, even if they're seasonal, make sure you take a picture of everything and add it to your listing, because your listing pictures is what gets these bookings initially. So you need to show potential, guests what you have, what you offer. So I feel like with all of these different amenities, the seasonal bin, maybe you have in your budget, you're able to buy a kayak or something, a small little boat that guests can use. I don't really have a storage place for that. So I only have storage for inflatables, because you can deflate that and store it very easily. So that's just something to keep in mind whenever you have an Airbnb. Just think about all of these different extra features that some of your competitors may not have, because these extra features, they may seem kind of minor. I mean, an inflatable pool, right? I mean, but the guests love it. So just make sure, if you are going to implement all of these amenities and other tips I mentioned, to take pictures of it and include it on your listing. And there you have it. So these are sure ways to get bookings during your busy season, and they're definitely ways to stand out and get those great reviews that you need.